Hey y'all, Wack 100 is a clown to me. Like, dude is a grade A goofy. And the main reason is Wack 100 just did an interview with Tekashi 6IX9. Now, I did not watch the interview, but he's catching flack for this interview. And in order to defend himself from the flack that he's getting, he's coming out and saying that Tekashi 6IX9 not no snitch. He's a kid. He's a kid. He's trying to absolve Tekashi for all of his wrongdoings, for the part that he played and all the BS that went on along with the individuals he used to be associated with. Now, after being able to benefit and reap the benefits of claiming blood and hanging around all these individuals that have these, tough personas and so on and so forth, after being able to reap the benefits of claiming a gang, when things went south between him and his former associates, he went and told on everybody involved in order to free himself of certain things that he did. Now, I don't care what nobody says. I'm not a street individual. I'm not involved in street politics by any stretch of the imagination. But from my understanding, if a person tries to get out of something that they did by telling on other people, trying to take accountability off of themselves, that's a weak move. And that's a snitch. That's snitching for real. Especially when you're trying to play the part of a street dude and claiming blood and saying blood every 5 minutes in an interview with the Breakfast Club. Every 10 to 5 seconds he was saying blood, even when he was talking to Angela Yee, which was some clowned out shit. But now Wack 100 is trying to absolve that young man by saying he's a kid. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Kids don't have beer bellies. They don't have facial hair all over their face. They don't have a whole bunch. They don't have several kids in elementary school at this point, right? So I don't understand how Wack is trying to absolve Tekashi 6IX9 of all accountability, trying to absolve him from everything he did, act like it wasn't his fault. It's the gang's fault for accepting him in and allowing him to rep the gang and so on and so forth. And okay, yeah, the gang plays a part in allowing him to wave a flag, even though they knew he wasn't about that life. But at the same time, he needs to be accountable for the part that he played and all that stuff, right? But what's really clowned out is, I watched Wack 100 talk about another young brother, a black kid by the name of Pop Hunter. Y'all know Pop Hunter. Pop Hunter had that song Corvette, that song that was real popular all on TikTok and all of that, right? All the kids was doing the dance. Now, allegedly, Pop Hunter, he was rapping and he had some raps about some street stuff, right? But when he was a 13-year-old kid, he testified against the person who killed his brother because his mama told him to, right? And when he did what his mama told him to do and testified on the person that killed his brother, Wack 100 came out and was saying, oh, all the artists that was disassociating themselves from Pop Hunter did the right thing. Ain't no snitching allowed. It's snitching is snitching. He don't care if the boy was 13 because Wack 100 say he didn't even snitch at 12, right? Called that young black dude a snitch. But right now he riding with he's waving a white flag for Tekashi and all type of taking up for him and saying he not a snitch now. I'm like, damn, what changed? What changed with Tekashi and that young dude? All it is, man, is Wack want a lot of attention. He want all the allure. He wants the reverence. He wants popularity. He wants glitz and glamour. He wants fame. And in order to take the consequences or take any type of take the heat off of him for doing his interview, he's coming out and putting a kid jacket on 6IX9. He's just a kid. He's just a kid. Nah, brother, that man was well aware of what he did. All the actions, everything that he took part in, he was well aware of it. He knew what he was doing, and he was acting like he was the biggest gangster of all, even with other individuals who weren't even coming at him, were trying to tell him to tone it down, just get to the money, get off of the BS. He kept talking like he was the biggest gangster in New York, rather the world. He was the biggest gangster in the world. He was talking all this crazy shit, right? Talking super crazy, super thugged out. He was on super thugged out time. And when the kitchen got hot, when the smoke got hot, he went out and he went and told on everybody involved, all because he wasn't cool with them no more. And that's just not how life works, right? If I rob a bank with an individual, and I would never do that because I'm not a street kid at all. I stayed in school and I stayed out the way, so I wouldn't be involved in situations like Tekashi 6IX9 and his affiliates, right? Or his former associates. But I'm gonna just make an example, right? If I'm rob a bank with a person, and me and that person fall out and get into a beef for whatever reason, just because I'm no longer cool with that person does not make it okay for, if I get locked up, I tell on that person I'm no longer cool with. Hell no. you're gonna take account. I would have to take accountability for whatever the actions that I did. I would have to take accountability for that, because before going into that bank robbery, I would know all the consequences and repercussions behind doing that. So I gotta stand on everything that I did, rather than just tell on somebody because I'm mad at that person and try to get the heat off of me to take some accountability off of myself. I'm gonna tell on dude too, so I can take the heat off of me and I can get out and get less time, instead of being able to have to deal with the full consequences of my actions. Like, for real, that's not, I don't like. There's no way around that. And if I did that, wouldn't nobody try to call me a kid? He's just a kid. Now y'all gonna say, man, that's a grown man. That's a grown man with children, because I have 2 children, and he jeopardized his well-being. He jeopardized his time with his kids in order to live a gangster lifestyle and to try to perpetuate an image, a negative image to young kids in the ghettos of America. Y'all would clown me, right? And Wack would say the same thing. But now, since it's Tekashi, and he know that interviewing Tekashi could come with a lot of views, a lot of popularity, it can come with a lot of possible fortune, get a lot of money, get a bag, or he can get a huge bag off of interviewing Tekashi, and he know that. So that's why he's waving that flag for Tekashi, trying to absolve him from all actions. I watched that, man. Like, Tekashi, we saw it. Tekashi went out and told his homie to shoot at Chief Keef, right? Him and Chief Keef had an issue. He told his homie to shoot at Chief Keef. And when they weren't cool no more, the man got on the stand and pointed at his homie and told him he shot at Chief Keef, even though Tekashi told him to do that, right? Now, of course, that young man has to be held accountable for his actions, because he actually went and shot at him. You know what I mean? He didn't have to do that. But Tekashi the one that told him to do it. And now, because he ain't cool with him and the smoke got hot, I mean, and the fire got hot, now you want to go and tell on folks? That ain't, no, man. I ain't riding with that, especially when he was screaming blood every 5 seconds. And then he was out here disrespecting other men, inviting other men to his genitals, telling them suck his stain. He was out here posted up and laying in bed with Chief Keef baby mama, antagonizing other dudes, and now he want to get mad if somebody allegedly slide with his baby mama. Now all the gloves is off. Now it's all fair in war now. Right? You was on there with other people, baby mama, but when somebody get on there with your baby mama, now you ready to just go and all commit treason. Go out here and just go crazy and go bananas, right? And you like, well, yeah, it's wrong for the dudes that was riding with you to try to be sliding at your baby mama, but you got to understand, you wanted to be a part of that snake lifestyle, you want to hang with snakes, you gonna get snaked, right? Like, that's the name of the game, and he obviously didn't know that. He just wanted the popularity of being able to say he was a blood. But once again, I'm looking at Wack 100 like, what the hell? How can you try to absolve that dude, calling him a kid, right? But you got on Pop Hunter head when that boy was just doing what his mama told him to do, right? And I saw this comment in the comment section when people were talking about Wack 100. Like, if that was a black kid, a black dude, Wack would be talking about him like crazy, calling him a snitch. If it was a black hip hop artist that did that, Wack would be talking about him like he's a snitch, he's a clown, he has no place in his culture, we don't glorify rats. He would be saying all the street code and all the street ethics. He would run that street code and street ethics book all the way down, right? He would just run all the rules out of the streets, and he would say, "There's no way I'm going against that code." But since this other dude that got all the popularity, to get all the views on YouTube and all of that, now you want to act like he's not a snitch and he's just a kid now. He's a kid now because you want to be able to do this interview and not get criticized. You don't want to face criticism for interviewing dude, so now you're going to say he's a kid and, oh, it's the gang fault. No, it's his fault too. Because he went in there trying to jump into that life and he didn't understand what all came with it, and he wasn't ready to absolutely face the consequences of street life and gang life. He was just talking that talk. He was just talking that. Ain't nobody brainwashed that boy. That boy know what the hell he was doing. He threw that flag on because he felt like it would help get his wave further, right? And the gang he was running with, they were like, okay, cool, wave our flag. So we gonna get that bread off of you, right? And they in turn let him claim a block, and he was claiming it like he was the hardest dude around. So cause look, let's be real, man. People that got a gang affiliation when they rapping, it gets more, it brings more views. Honestly, it brings a lot of views to you. It brings a lot of traction to you. So that's what all Tekashi was about, generating views to get some revenue. But he was acting like he was a big gang member, talking all crazy, talking greasy to other men, starting and instigating situations with other men and doing stuff with their baby mamas and all that. Now we supposed to feel sorry for dude because somebody laying up with his baby mama supposedly? Man, hell no.
There's no way that stuff can ever be honorable at all. And again, I'm looking at Wack like a clown, because you clown little shorty Pop Hunter for telling when he was 13 years old, for telling who killed his brother on the orders of his mama, which a lot of y'all was doing what y'all mama said. All y'all street dudes was doing what your mama said, told you to do at 13. You talking you wouldn't have told at 12, and you trying to call dude a clown, and you was trying to ruin that young boy's career, trying to railroad that young brother from getting any type of money from the winnings that he was getting from the Corvette song. You was trying to throw the snitch jacket on him while his wave was riding, and you tried to derail that. You tried to derail that young brother, but you all waving a white flag and glorifying and trying to upholster 6ix9ine as this kid. Where the hell they do that at, man? Where the hell they do that at? There's no way that would ever be acceptable, nor should it be acceptable. No, 6ix9ine got to be held accountable for all his actions, right? And it sucks that a grown man, it's terrible that a grown man is supposed to be an OG, you know what I'm saying? He big game banging, because every word that come out of Wack mouth is Pyru this, Pyru that, and street this, street that. He glorified going to jail and not telling on nobody. But now you out here parading around, parading around, going on a campaign to try to absolve 6ix9ine of all the things that he did, trying to absolve him of all wrongdoings. No, that man committed wrong. He gonna get held accountable like anybody else does, right? And whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. And again, Wack is a clown. He do a lot of goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? He do it all the time. It's perpetual. He's a habitual goofy line stepper all the time. He does it all the time, and then tries to dress it up as something else and all of that. No, bro, we see through that. We know what you're doing. Just say you wanted to interview Shorty without getting criticized. Don't go on this whole campaign, oh, he was a kid, it don't really count. And no, it count, bro. It count. That's a strike on him. You know what I'm saying? So he was bamboozled, acting like the gang bamboozled and tricked him. No, his ass knew what he was doing. He wanted that. He wanted that tough guy image. He wanted all that image that came with that in order for him to blow and for his career to succeed and go to new heights. Right? I just find it funny that one young man is held to a certain criteria, Pop Hunter, when he was 13 years old, but Danny, as he called 6ix9ine, he tried to separate the entities. 6ix9ine is not Danny. I talked to Danny, not 6ix9ine. Now, hell no, that's the same dude, right? 6ix9ine is held to a whole nother standard, and he's able to slither and slide out of any type of wrongdoings, and he's able to slither and slide out of accountability, which is not how the real world works, right? If anything, like for real, even outside of the rap stuff, right? If my son was to be out here waving a flag, gang banging, and talking all crazy, woo woo, right? And then he go and telling somebody, I'm gonna look like, hold on, son, you trying to get out of accountability, right? Now, of course, I would want my son to be home. I wouldn't want him to be in any gang activity at all. I would raise my son and try to rear him to where he wouldn't ever have to even think about joining a gang or having to lean on some dudes in the street for friendships and all of that. But kids do what they want to do, whatever, right? But if my son tried to get out of accountability, you're gonna be like, bro, what you trying to escape what you did? You know what I'm saying? People would look at him and say, oh no, shorty, that's not honorable. You trying to get out of everything that you did and take the heat off of you? Like, come on, man. Like, like, again, Wack is really, really a character. Like, no lie. And you see it every time he opens his mouth. Because he out here, you know, he going at Meek Mill, he going at all these other people for snitching this, snitching that, and all this and all of that. Bro, just come out and say you wanted to interview Shorty without being criticized. Just come out and say that. You wanted to be able to interview dude and benefit and profit off of that. Right? Rather than saying he was a kid. This dude is a grown-ass man, beer belly and all, facial hair all over his face, got kids in elementary school, all that, kids growing up. He ain't no damn kid. That's a grown man. You're classified as an adult. Yes, having kids doesn't make you a grown man, right? Having facial hair doesn't make you a grown man, but the world sees you as an adult. So whether we try to, use all of these semantics, oh, he's really not a man, he's still a kid. No, he ain't no kid. You know who was a kid? Pop Hunter, when he was 13, when he testified on his brother's behalf, because his brother was deceased, when he testified because his mama told him to testify against his brother's killer. But you calling Pop Hunter a snitch and trying to clown him out and trying to be able to take away,
basically trying to take food out of Pop Hunter's family's mouth, putting a snitch jacket on him and co-signing that he's a snitch and all of this, and trying to get all the rappers to stop working with Pop Hunter now. You was doing that, but now you trying to absolve 6ix9ine for all wrongdoings, and oh no, he was just a kid, and he was just a kid, right? Get your clown ass out of here, man. Like, for real, bro. And again, this is coming from a person. I'm a civilian. I was a schoolboy. I was a nerd, right? I was a proverbial nerd. Went to school, did all my homework, went to college, got 2 degrees and all of that. You know what I mean? Got a job. I'm not engaging in street politics and hanging in the streets, and I'm not gang affiliated by no means. But I understand in life, you must be held accountable for your actions, and you can't escape accountability, right? Any wrongdoings that you do, and you can't try to get out of, try to put your wrongdoings on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So you can get out of it. Yeah, a person may have took part in something you did, but you got to own up for what you did too. And anybody trying to get out of that, that's always been clown stuff in my neighborhood in Chicago, Illinois, right? And even in general, as a man, my father raised me to be accountable for everything that I've done, everything that I did. If I did some BS, you do some BS, you got to be able to own up to whatever BS you did and be able to live with the consequences of the BS that you partake in. Partake. Yeah. Everything that you took part in, you got to be able to be held accountable for that. You got to be willing to. 6ix9ine not willing to do that. So what's the point of Wack sitting down? I want to sit down and have a conversation. What you got to talk to him for? To see what he told for? We know why he told. Because he didn't want to have to sit down and do that time. He didn't want to have to be in jail for all them years. He was willing to gain revenue off of being a blood and being a gangbanger. He was willing to throw that flag and wave that flag to get money and to get a huge following and all of that. He wanted to gangbang to get this tough image and tough persona and all that, so he can talk that street stuff in his music. But he don't want to have to sit down and really actually do time for none of that stuff he was out here doing. He ain't want to do that. He ain't want to be away from his woman. He ain't want to be doing that hard time like that. That's why he told. We know why he told. So what are you trying to get to the bottom of? Because they know, he told because they was trying to snake him out and so on and so forth. Yet and still, even if they told and you don't rock with them at all, you can't try to get out of what you did, whatever you took part in, by putting it all on them. No, fool. You got to be able to hold up, you got to be able to be held accountable for all the things that you done wrong. Period. That's how it go. You know what I mean? And I just feel like it's lame, it's corny, it's foul. It's very hypocritical of Wack to be out here trying to cover for that man. Cover for that grown man when he was out here taking food out of Pop Hunter family mouth, out here parading, calling him a snitch and all that, and making an Instagram post. Chippy Red did the right thing. Lil Uzi Vert did the right thing by taking down their verses from the songs they did with Pop Hunter, because he's a snitch, and snitching ain't allowed in this basically in the culture and all this and all of that. He was campaigning against Pop Hunter like he was this big old snitch when that boy was 13 years old and basically did what his mama told him to do, like a lot of these gangster rappers did when they was shorties, and they're trying to act like they didn't, and they did what the hell they want to do, act like they ran their household, they did what the hell they want to do. Some of them did, but a lot of them didn't, right? But a lot of them would have did what their mama told them to do at 13 years old and testified against the person they killed their own damn brother. Wack calling him a snitch. But Tekashi was out here gangbang city, blood, big blood, calling Angela Yee a blood, saying blood to Angela Yee while he was talking. Clowned out shit. But now he be able to get, he's just a kid. Man, get the hell out of here. And Wack is a clown too. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.